Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight we got the penultimate regular season round here for the CSRL GT Series, and we are down under here in Australia at Mount Panorama. This track, there's no better way to explain it than just it's Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, half the track you can it just about be lulled to sleep. There's really not much to it. Some straightaways, a little bit of a an S-turn to finish out the lap, but not much to it. And that's literally about half the track. The other half of the track, well, just picture yourself going down the highway, and then you get to some road construction, and you got the little cattle chute, as we call it, and there's really not much room to move. That's the mountain side of it, and that's the other half of the track. And oh, by the way, it's not just a straight line. I mean, you're going back and forth. You're going uphill. You're going down through the dipper, everything like that. It is just anything and everything you don't want as a driver, or I guess maybe if you're a little nuts, like probably some of these drivers are, you enjoy it a little bit. But it is not exactly an easy track. It's one that you definitely need to practice. It's one that you need to have a little bit of idea how the track rolls out here. So it's gonna be interesting. 45 minutes out here as usual, but I am Carl Hamwork, joined in the booth by Jimmy Cover. Jimmy, we got the Bathurst 12-hour coming up here this weekend in iRacing, so a little bit of a taste of it here tonight for CSRL.
Yeah, I mean, they're following the iRacing schedule, and this is a popular one, and as the track's unforgiving in half of the track. Like you said, the other half you're trying to make your moves, and it's difficult here. You're really relying on the guy in front of you to make a mistake to make things easier on you, and that or they just outright don't have the pace. Up through the mountains is pretty much a no passing zone. These GT3 cars need the majority of the track to push it to their limits to go as fast as they can, and sometimes it is difficult. So it's been years after, I've been running this race. This will be my 5th time doing a 12-hour event here. Actually, I should say probably there's 8 or 10 because we've attempted a few more than just the first time each time. But you go out there and things happen on the top of the mountain. A lot of people are even known to even start out of the pits. And then they're talking about even adding iRacing's new rain to this year's 12-hour. So it's going to be a challenge. But tonight they don't have to worry about that. They just have to worry about the track and the drivers. Got a lot of drivers out here tonight. Looks like we have 33 drivers on tap to partake out here tonight, and it's going to be an interesting one for sure. And we're going to see, I think, a lot of them PM drivers up at the top tonight.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, we just got done. If you're a CRN fan out there and you're subscribed to us, you possibly watched the Core Xfinity last night at Daytona, where you can get caught up in the big one there very quickly. One little mistake. Well, a mistake by somebody towards the front of the field here in the mountain area could see them sideways, and basically Austin powered, and the entire field is going to have to wait there until they get straightened out before they're even able to go on by, unless they're nice enough to kind of pull forward or back up and let one lane go through there. It's that tight going up through there. So like Jimmy said, definitely a no passing zone. Take a look at the standings coming in tonight. Again, it's coming down to the end here. This is the second last regular season race for CSRL before we have the team 2-hour finale. But we'll take a look if I get the right standings here. One way or another, there we go. Now we'll get it. And it is Greg Jancic on top of the boards by 3 points. Chris Hamilton not in attendance here tonight, so we'll see how that all plays out here. Obviously, we have the drop races already in play here, but not sure which ones are going to drop off for Hamilton and Jancic for that matter. But they are kind of the two at the top of the class and running away with it a bit. About 25 points behind is Colin Winslow there in third, and then only 1 point behind Winslow is Devin Young and Anthony Jenkins making up the top 5 in the pro. Over in the AM, it is still Eli Singh at the top, but Christian Ortiz-Torres not too far behind, only 4 points back, and they're kind of the top of the boards there in the AM class before you get down to Glenn Lazan, Jim Herrick, and Renan De Lima rounding out your top 5 in the AM class. But it's been a lot of good racing all season, as it always is here at CSRL, and I'm expecting pretty much the same thing here tonight. This is it's definitely a track where you'll probably see a little bit more pro heavy towards the top, because this is driver's track. I mean, again, half the track is, you know, nothing too crazy. Well, I'll bring up the you know, the race information here again and show you the kind of the, you know, the right hand side of the track map there. They just see, you know, just some long straightaways, a little bit of an S turn there, and a few 90-degree corners. But then that left hand side of the track, I just hold on, and you better know where you're going. I mean, I don't know if you may need a GPS in the car to get up through the mountain for some of these drivers, but it is not that easy getting up through there. But they are just about finished up with qualifying. Just got the 15 minutes done here, waiting for the clock to finally time out on all the drivers, and we'll give you a rundown again. Gotta give a shout out to these guys all season long here in CSRL, putting up great numbers. Again, 33 cars in attendance here tonight. Looks like at least 32 were out there taking qualifying. Joe Sullivan, the 33rd car, maybe he's afraid to get out there and put a lap time in. I don't blame him. And maybe he is going to be one, like Jimmy mentioned, starting from pit lane. It's not necessarily a bad thing to do, and I would not be surprised if some drivers this weekend for the iRacing Bathurst 12-hour start from the pits just to avoid some of the chaos on the first lap. But Jimmy, we are officially done with qualifying. Why don't you give us a rundown of our 33 car order here tonight?
All right, quick rundown tonight of the order here. Craig Jancic on the pole here tonight. So if Chris, if you're out there, your competition's on the pole looking to pull away another win, so you better get back here. Stop having fun or doing whatever you're doing. But Bryce Reiner will take your spot in P number 2, then followed by Doug Palmer, Colin Winslow, Leo Goosh. There for your top 5, Frank Pisano, Anthony Jenkins, Herbert Pinata, Dan Moreno, and Jim Dutton there for your top 10. Then Nicholas Cody, Randall Ayers, Brandon Potts, Stephen Pless, Christian Torres, Tyler Torville back there for your top 16. Jay Little, Stephen Barusa, and 18th, Daniel Rambo, Ian Wilson, Dave Jensen, Steve Santana, Ian Southern, Jim Herrick, and Brandon Powell. There will be for your top 25. And then Arena Dilemma, William Burrell, Glenn Lawson, Todd Tervell, Stephen Price, Cesar Colin Torres, Paul Bailey, and Joseph Sullivan for 33 drivers. Like I said, there's a lot of drivers here. Maybe we'll see who's going to start in that pit. So I'm gonna venture down to the pit lane, see if anybody's still sitting there.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if somebody, oh no, I forgot the grid up, oh darn, and just decides to start from the pits. But
oh, I forgot to set my sound.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we got Craig Jancic that is going to be starting on the pole, and the defending champion looking for another run here tonight and maybe another win under the belt for the 83, especially with Hamilton not in attendance here tonight. It may not put the dagger in just yet, with next week being again the season finale, as they will head to, I looked at it earlier and already forgot, it is going to be Hockenheim for the regular single driver points finale, and then again the team finale going to be the week after, 2 hours at Spa. But we've got 45 minutes here tonight as the drivers pull off, and looking like maybe only Joe Sullivan starting from the pits. He looks like the only one that did not grid up here. So we'll see. We'll see if he joins, or maybe he's not even in the session. Maybe he's just afraid to even be in the pits. But base car lights are off. Going to pull in this time by. It's going to be in the hands of Barney, as the pace car just likes to drive right over those cones. Just raise your drive right there.
Turn 1 is literally called Hell Corner.
So there's that. There is that. Well, Barney has got the green flag in hand. He's ready to send him off into Hell Corner, and we are racing at Bathurst. Look here at Hell Corner, you see all the cars coming through. I've always wondered kind of why this is called Hell Corner. To me, it's one of the easier corners on the track. It's just a little 90-degree corner, sets you up for a long straightaway down to Quarry Bend, as you see him come up and crest over the corner. To me, this is, it doesn't look like it's that tough of a corner, but for some reason, there's so many different ways you can run this corner, so many ways you can screw it up. And I never feel like I can get that thing fully correct. Coming through the cutting, this thing has been just a thorn in my side for quite some time, but I may have, knock on wood, finally figured it out. Good look at them coming out of the cutting there. And you see the cattle chute that I mentioned. I mean, barely enough room to get, you know, 2 of these cars through here, as definitely a car into the wall right there. Not sure if that might have been Stephen Pless coming up through there. One of the toughest parts right here, up here at Skyline. They come down through the S's here, and this is a fast section of the track, but you're trying to get on the brakes, you're trying to get that thing rotated back and forth, and then through the dipper, as you get to see him up close and personal, coming through that tight little left-hand corner, and you literally dip down into there before we go into what's known as Forest Elbow, but for the longest time it's been known, at least amongst the core brethren, as Covert Corner, because Jimmy just never felt like he was too comfortable in that corner. Let's just put it that way. And there's some choice words, some choice words certainly coming through that corner, down the Conrad straight into the chase, and then they will complete the lap after the S-turn here at Murray's Corner. And it is going to be Craig Jancic leading the field, Bryce Reiner, Colin Winslow, Leo Gausha, and Doug Palmer for your top 5. Then you got Frank Pisano, Herbert Pineda, Anthony Jenkins, Dan Morera, and Nicholas Coates for your top 10.
Yeah, just one thing about that corner, Carl. It took me the longest time. I get through it a lot better these days, but it was not a place I enjoyed, and the amount of laps that I have here at Bathurst, you know, getting ready for the special events. It just, you have to take the time, and you know, if you have poor braking technique, that corner will clearly let you know that you suffer.
Yeah, that it will, and it's another one where, you know, just like for me in turn 2, you never feel like you fully officially nail it. You get that same feeling in Forest Elbow. There's so many different ways that I've seen people take that corner, but I mean, when you finally nail it, as we got a car sideways, it looks like Anthony Jenkins there is sideways, and you see it right there. At least there's enough room for cars to get by on the outside, but he is going to lose every position on the track before he's able to get that thing turned back around, and now finally is going to be able to. It looks like another
the admin
crash
team
up here.
The admin team put out a good, basically a disclaimer on how to handle themselves. Remember to handle themselves, as best as possible for those crashes. So you might see some people either towing immediately or holding up to allow people to go by.
Definitely a few cars involved in this incident right here. And it looks like maybe Joe Sullivan just too scared to run here tonight. He's not out there in the field, but leading the way here in the AM class is Randy Ayers. He is in the Porsche here tonight. It's one of the things that a few of us that are running the Bathurst 12-hour kind of debating on which car seems to be, the one that fits the best for this track. And the Porsche is one that we kind of wrote off just because it transfers the weight just a little bit wonky sometimes. You definitely need some nice, even keeled weight transfer going up through the mountain. But Jimmy, we'll hop on board here with Randy Ayers. Why don't you give us a run through the track here at Mount Panorama?
So I got let me find Randy here. Change my camera. Let's see. Go with the nose here.
Towards turn 2 right now.
There we go. Yeah. Head up to turn 2 right now, heading into what they call a Griffin Bend. And obviously you're probably down in that third gear, usually heading up here as fast as you can. Right before the bend, you lift up, and then you head down into the cutting. Once you get to the cutting, this is all uphill. You gotta make sure you upshift as you lift over that little dip right there, as it can offset the car. And you come up through here through the Query Corner, heading there to Skyline. This could be tricky here. You gotta watch them curves and make sure you don't unsettle the weight of the car as you're transferring around here. It's kind of flat here, and this is what's called the Skyline. You come down in through the S's or the dipper.
Cutting right here, yeah.
Cutting down through here.
Yeah, the dipper,
really tough here. Yeah, because you really can, hit them, them corners here. And obviously, you talked about Forest Corner. or forced elbow, cobra corner, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. It sucks. But then you head down this nice down stretch. You get to breathe a little bit. I guess, it's what the best part about this long straightaway. This is also the chance where you want to maybe get your pass in. So you get set up down here, heading all the way down into this right here. It's called the chase. Down through turns 20 and 21. Then you're going to make the short right-hand turn down to the last and final corner called Murray's Corner. It's a sharp left-hand turn, but this is the corner, Carl, and I think it's probably underrated. Your lap starts here.
Yes.
A bad exit there is a bad lap for the most part. If you can lose over a half a second to a second, just that corner alone.
As your lap around Mount Panorama, also known as Bathurst, along with AM leader Randy Ayers right now, as he's got Luis Ortiz-Torres not too far behind him. Looked like he had an issue with Brandon Potts. We'll take a look at actually a couple issues here. This is Daniel Rambo at the top of the mountain, and that was a pretty hard impact. Not sure if that's done any kind of damage to the steering, but you see right there, big impact there, and he ended up towing back to the pits. Brandon Potts here down in the chase and avoiding getting in the back of Randy Ayers there.
And one of the few places you can make a mistake and recover without an arm in your car, but obviously Brandon taking immediate advantage of the little mess up and coming down and probably top his tank off with fuel for the rest of the race.
So last night at Daytona, we talked about how qualifying not really important at all. You can go from last to first pretty quickly. Here, you got half a track to figure it out. You got half a track to try and make it pass, but there's really only 3 or 4 corners that you're coming out of that you need to get a good run out of. Try and get a draft and try and maybe late break into one of the next corners to make a pass. So there's really not that much passing opportunity because you're not doing it up through the mountain unless somebody makes a mistake. And if they make a mistake, you're just hoping to get by and not get collected, and let alone trying to make a pass. So this is not a track where you can really move up through the field if you have a bad qualifying. It's not that easy to pick up some positions here. So a lot of times you'll see a lot of just kind of single file and following 12th leader here, and it's going to make that pit stop very big. I mean, I know we're beating a dead horse every single week. We talk about it, but pit stops. It's so big. And you've seen Brandon Potts start coming into the pits. It's right before Murray's Corner. You're going to duck off to the left, but it's not just a left-hand turn coming into pit lane here. They had to throw in a bit of a chicane, just I guess screw with you a little bit coming in there. I mean, I don't think there's any real reason that they got to have a little bit of an S turn coming into the pits right there, but to each his own. I guess it is what it is. But
well, I mean, at least most people will try to stay on the track, but if you've practiced that, you'll quickly find out you can cut them corners pretty seriously to make your own straight line and gain quite a bit of extra time. So if you're listening, bonus points for listening to CRN there in the middle of a race. But yeah, and if you don't already know, you can make your own straight line. Just to be very, obviously you'd have to know the limits of the track. So something to practice maybe later on, maybe for that 12 hour.
Greg Jancic leading the way here by about 2.5 seconds over Colin Winslow, running in second with Mercedes. Jimmy, how long has it been since we've seen that the Mercedes, let alone Mercedes, running in second place right now with Colin Winslow?
I mean, it's a good car here, Carl. I've seen it. I'm a big fan of watching and supporting content creators out there, the guys running on Twitch, and just kind of doing what they can to kind of give us a good show of where we're at. So, but definitely something that I like to do is watch them. But yeah, the McLaren, not the McLaren, the Mercedes has been doing very well here tonight, and not just tonight, but all week.
Look at an incident here with the fearless leaders here in CSRL. Jim Dutton, good to see him back out on the track, but this is not the way you want to take the dipper. And he dips it into the wall. Parked backwards, gets a little tag there from Randy Ayers. Hopefully It didn't disturb Randy's driving too much, but he's seen right there. Jim Dunn end up towing back to pit lane. It's like Paul Bailey had a bit of an issue coming up here as well, and that certainly, I've been a part of that more than once. Coming up through, was it like turn 6 or something like that? And the back end of the Porsche just decides to step right out on you, and just decides to take off the front end there as he's got some more cars coming up through. But it can happen very quick, and there's no time, there's no room. You can't do anything to save it. You're along for the ride at that point. Take a look. It looks like Nicholas Cote going through the cutting here, and just a bit of a loop sideways. Maybe just enough room in that Ferrari to get it turned around, but you can see right there, you end up having to tow back to pit lane as well just to get out of the way. And then see if there's the same situation here. Oh, this was Cesar Colon Torres coming up on the incident here, and yeah, really nowhere to go. Bit of a parking lot, and it allows Randy Ayers to sneak on by before the 007 gets back moving. And that's, again, it's how quickly it can happen, and more often than not, it seems like these cars just slide perfectly sideways, and it's just, I guess it's one extra middle finger from this track to say they just screwed up. I mean, it never see it. If you're not sideways, you're turned completely around, and it's so easy to spin it around backwards, not that easy to spin it back around forwards.
I don't know how you turn around so fast. You do a 180 on a track that seems so narrow. And then you have to Austin Powers turn it around with seconds. So a lot of times, like, especially for endurance events, you don't want to make that pit. You don't want to tow. A lot of drivers don't want to tow, so they're up there making a mess, and and it's just safer, more sportsmanship like to tow, especially if you're facing the wrong way. And I'm not sure what the 100% what the rules were tonight about if somebody gets turned around. I think towing is a fabulous option, especially if you know that you can't get it turned around and you don't have this humongous gap. I mean, the drivers are getting pretty spread out now, so, if you're somebody maybe towards that back of the main group, you might be, have a chance to keep it going. So right now you'll lose a lot of spots, but right now the leader, talking about losing spots, is already 4 seconds ahead of Carl Winslow. So walking away here again tonight. So Acura to be getting it done again with the over the Mercedes, but that Mercedes obviously driving away from Bryce Rayner and Doug Palmer.
Taking a look here at the battle for the lead in the M class, and Ortiz Torres had a couple looks to try and get past Ayers, but not to be had. Looks like Marussia right behind him. New one to the series here tonight. May have scraped the wall a little bit coming up through there, as that was a little bit untidy there from the 11 of Ortiz Torres, but he keeps it going the right way. He's going to tuck in once again that behind the 66 and maybe try and run him down here. Coming out of Forest Elbow, down the long straightaway, down the Conrad straight, and a little bit too far back here, I think, to make any kind of move into the chase, but good battle here. First, second, third, and the M class all on the screen here. Actually, looks like fourth right there as well, with Dave Jensen not too far behind. So good battle here in the M class. Pro class spread out here a little bit. Don't really have the first battle until you get back here to 5th place with Frank Pisano in 5th, and Herbert Pineda and Dan Herrera right behind in 6th and 7th. A little bit further back in the field. Good battle here as Steve Santana peaked out there for a second on Glenn Lazon. The battle back here for 18th and 19th overall. And then a little bit further behind them, a little battle brewing here between William Burrell, stuck in the middle behind Anthony Jenkins, and behind Burrell is Stephen Price and Todd Torville back here in 20th through 23rd. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. As this season CSRL coming to an end, no word just yet on season number, what's it going to be now? I think it's a season number 12 for these guys, I believe, coming up. So we'll see we get any kind of word. I know they typically like to try and follow the iRacing schedule. So we'll see if we get any word with these last couple races coming up. But right now we still got championships to decide. We still got 2 close championships, and unfortunately for Chris Hamilton not able to be here tonight. And he's tuning in here. He's watching Craig Jancic out there in the lead, and it's I'm sure not what he wants to see right now. So we'll go ahead and put it on screen for him just to kind of rub it in here a little bit. This is what you're missing out on right here. You're missing out on some points.
Even the broadcast is cursed. Somebody slow Craig Jancic down at number 88. Just flying here tonight. 2:02.952 for fastest lap a little while ago. So definitely cruising around here. He's definitely got some speed to hang with the big boys. His iRating does not say that. You know, he almost in that qualifying. I am an alien here at Bathurst. And then you got people out there that are the alien eaters. You know, they just eat those aliens up. There's a few of them out there. I've seen them live. Seen them on other streamers stream. Just mowing this field down. 202, like 202 or 3 or 4 or something. The call was crazy. They're just impressively like stupid fast. Even in the rain, I've seen some people that are practicing rain because they have that 35% rain chance for the 12-hour event has got everybody on their toes.
Yeah.
If you think this place is fun in the dry, wait till it's wet.
Yeah, I'll be the second or third one in our car, and the CRN red Acura coming up this weekend. I'll be the second one in the car, so hopefully the car's still intact, and hopefully if there's any rain, it's already passed and it's already dried. I don't want to think about it. This track can be a bear by itself. I don't want to think about rain or anything else in the meantime, but a little battle here as Anthony Jenkins coming up on the back of Stephen Pless, and another new one here to the series, the 96 in the Corvette there, as Anthony Jenkins going to make the pass, move himself into 17th place overall. Jenkins kind of buried back here in the field a little bit. Not sure if he didn't get a good qualifying lap in, or if he got a qualifying lap in at all. Started back there. Actually, sorry, I'm reading it the exact opposite way. He actually started in 7th place, but fell back through the field here and trying to make his way back up towards the front as the top 7 right now, all pro drivers, and then you got Randy Ayers, Christian Ortiz-Torres in 8th and 9th. So good showing for them, and trying to hold up the AM flag and at least get a couple guys up there in the top 10. But looks like Steven Borussia had a bit of an incident here, and a little bit of a dive to the inside. Borussia gets pinched into the wall, and I believe that might have been Dave Jensen that got involved in that one as well. Borussia's going to get away with that one. It looks like the car's not too damaged, didn't lose too much time. Still out there, and it looks like Jensen getting away as well, but certainly a rough up there. Go back live here as this is the reason we're going live. 66 of Randy Ayers into the pits, giving up the lead here in the M class. Some damage on that front side. You see when he clipped and he came by Jim Dutton when he was spun there out of the dipper. So I'm sure we'll see him get the car cleaned up there a little bit. And you see right there, fender pops out. Doesn't look like he took his fast repair. Maybe just cleaning that up by the pit crew. But going to be one of the first ones that comes in to the pits here, other than some drivers that came in extremely early, and we're trying to get some of that clean air. But it is going to...
Anyway, he did have some damage. His car popped out. Fast repair was used, and maybe some fuel to finish off the race. These good drivers, I guess one thing about if you have a mistake, because of the settings that the league uses when they come in, you know, they'll have the ability to fill their tank up to make it the rest of the way. But I didn't see tires being taken, Carl, so I always question that here, especially at Bathurst, and how much you use and abuse them.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a trade-off. Every track is different, but I agree with you here. You're using them so much up there in the mountain, and I guess it all kind of depends on what your car does on the long run. I mean, some cars get a little bit tighter and they feel better in the long run. Some get a little bit freer and they feel better in the long run. It all depends. I mean, some cars just tend to feel better on worn tires than they do on fresh tires. I mean, I know there's been a few times I've been in cars where it just feels like it wants to over-rotate too much on those early laps, those, you know, first 5-10 laps, and the car feels really sketchy. It's nice when a car, you know, wants to rotate, but sometimes when you're going through those fast corners and the back and forth of the, you know, like 4, 5, 6, 7 up there at the top of the mountain, it can get really sketchy really quick. And when those tires wear in a little bit and it just, you know, gets a little bit tighter, sometimes it feels better.
Yeah, I mean, it's they did change the tire model yet again. Not to, I don't think they're GT3s, but the GTPs and the LMP2s. And they actually talked about just recently, some news was put out by iRacing about again taking a look at their tires for the GTPs and LMP2s. So I don't know if they're going to fix the cold tire problem on the cars like we use, but they are going to be looking at them again and changing them. And obviously, iRacing's always putting things out. And I think the biggest news that caught my eye, and I know a lot of drivers complain about blinkers, and I'm not talking about the ones you turn on your switch and like you're going to make a left-hand turn.
Drivers,
I'm talking
like
about
that.
the drivers on the track, where if the internet connectivity is no longer at a certain level or satisfactory to whatever, I don't even know how they're going to judge that, you're going to automatically get put into the pits as a ghost car. So you can come out and still drive, but your car will sit there until you have that option to you know, get back in the car and race because your connection's fixed. So, you know, it's almost like a temporary blown tire, maybe. I don't know how you're gonna look at it, but I think, you know, it's kind of, it is kind of fair, because it does stink, especially to have blinkers. Not so much on the road side of things. Obviously, it does stink when somebody's blinking and you're following, but more on the lines of I think the owners are going to be a lot happier because they're the ones that have to run pretty much door to door 95% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you look at, again, you know, I bring up Daytona last night. There was, you know, maybe 1 or 2 cars that were having a little bit of blinking issues. I'm with Jimmy. I'm waiting to kind of hear and see some more news going to be coming out in season 2 for iRacing here for 2025, and see what it entails, what constitutes a car kind of getting the connectivity black flag and getting sent in. If it's, you know, constant blinking, you know, once or twice a lap, if it's one long blink is enough to kind of throw it off. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah,
it's gonna have to do something about the latency. I know a lot of times the latency has a big effect on the way that your connection is. So I'm thinking they might base it off that, but they kind of gotta be careful what the threshold is. I mean, we race with, this is an Aussie track, you know, so we might be on an Aussie server over here, you know, in America, or it could be on an American server and the Aussies are racing with us. So that difference, that connection is so far apart, you know, the ping, you know, so I don't know. It's really going to get me. I'm kind of curious, I think.
Well, we are past the halfway point here tonight in the round number 7 here for CSRL at Mount Panorama. It is Craig Jancic leading the way by now 5.5 seconds over Colin Winslow. Bryce Reiner in 3rd. He is another about 6 seconds back here, but it started in 2nd place, having a good run here in 3rd. Doug Palmer started in 3rd. He is back to 4th. Not too far behind Bryce Reiner, still got him within sight. Herbert Pineda rounding out your top 5. Then looking down at the AM class, your leader earlier, Randy Ayers, coming into the pits early. So it's got Christian Ortiz-Torres now in at the lead for the AM class. He's running 8th place overall. In 10th place, Stephen Borussia now in 2nd place for the AM class. Jim Herrick and Renan de Lima and Stephen Flesch rounding out your top 5 there for the AM class. But it's been a pretty good one here. Certainly seen some guys, as we just see who was at that was possibly Daniel Rambo, yeah, going through the grass there, and he's going to bring it into pit lane. Not sure, it's certainly a little bit of a rough on that front end of the Porsche and even the back end, so he may have gotten the wall before he went through the grass there in the chase. But I mean, all in all, it's not been too bad. We haven't had any kind of traffic jams up in the mountain where the car spun sideways and, you know, half the field stuck behind them. But we had a couple guys sideways, but they kind of spun out of the way enough that there was at least a single lane to go by. So it's always the risk that you run here at Mount Panorama, and it's why qualifying is so big here.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge part. You know, and right now is another. What they're doing right now, a lot of drivers coming in making pit stops, getting that fuel. You know, hats off to the drivers out there doing their thing. If something's happened, getting out of the way, towing, whatever it may be, it's really kind of a, you know, all together kind of race. You know, it's the drivers versus the track. You know, everybody obviously wants to finish first, but finishing this track is a feat in itself. So, you know, hats off to everybody that came out here tonight, and obviously hats off to everybody that shows up here at CRN. Obviously, Mechanic Joe, Barry, Brian Rayville's out there, Jay Winslow, Peggy Winslow, Joanna Winslow. So, yeah, definitely a lot of support out there for Colin. You better get your butt in gear. You're 5 seconds behind. You should be in the lead. Chris Hamilton out there would like Colin Winslow to be in the lead as well. Barry and obviously Lacoon there talking about the cold tires for the GTPs that they're supposed to make them a little worse than what they are right now. So maybe slow the GTPs down just a little bit. We know how crazy they can be. We know how crazy you can be in them if you actually drive one. It can be fun, but it goes a lot knowing how to drive that car and how the other cars drive as well, so you can set up easy passes or wait your turn to get through a corner. So, but either way, iRacing's a ton of fun. These drivers are having a great time out here. Maybe they still have about 14 minutes remaining here, so they're, you know, working on the latter part of this race and looking forward to see who comes out the winner. But right now, Jancic is trying to lead that charge, continuously putting in those fast laps and walking away now out to a 21-second lead over Pinetta as Winslow, it looks like he came in for a pit.
Yeah, Craig Jansen, the only one that's been in the 202 range so far with that 202.95. But even right now, I mean, he's the only one in the 203 range when everybody else is in the 204.5 or higher. So just running consistently fast laps out there is the 88. Jimmy, it's coming up on 30 minutes into this race, getting close to the final 15 minutes. So it's about time we turn these cars up here and give everyone in Sierra Nation a little love to hear it.
A little love to hear it, and hopefully not, you don't want to see it.
Porsche are going to battle here, but a good example of how you can't pass up here in the mountain. It's so tough. And this battle right here with Randy Ayers, Steven Borussia has now brought in Dave Jensen to the mix as well. This is 10th, 11th, and 12th overall. But more importantly, it is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the AM class. As Christian Ortiz-Torres up the road here quite a bit, as he is about 9.5 seconds ahead, well, actually about 9 seconds ahead of Randy Ayers. So certainly a better pit stop for the 11 team. Got him into the lead here and hasn't looked back since. The pit cycle has been completed. We are done with pitting here, and it is 8.5 minutes left in this race plus a lap. And currently we see Greg Jancic in the lead by 9.5 seconds. He has taken the pole, he's taken the lead, and he's taken off, and he is not looking back in this one. So, sorry, Chris, but he is cruising out here. He is not putting a foot wrong, and it's a fast lap times as well. I mean, you know, this last lap 203.4. I mean, that's good enough for pole in a lot of races, and possibly here for tonight. I mean, that's his race pace. So, pretty fantastic. Only other one that is relatively close is the man that's in second, Colin Winslow, running at 203.97. The past lap. They're the only two cars in the 203-minute range. So pretty fast cars there, both at the front, but Winslow doesn't look like he has anything for that 88 here tonight. Bryce Reiner running in third, another 9 seconds back. And he has not really been able to shake free of Doug Palmer all night. Doug Palmer still hanging in there, trying to run down Bryce Reiner to get himself back up into his starting spot of third and claim the final spot on the podium here tonight. But he is he's maybe slowly just kind of hanging in there. Every once in a while the times are kind of ebbing and flowing, whether Palmer gains or loses times on Reiner. But again, I gotta give it up to Reiner. He has been on a nice little streak here as of late, looking pretty good here tonight. Dan Morera up here now into 5th place overall, and I think this might be not going to win the highest that we've seen Dan Morera in a CSRL race in quite some time. Up into 5th place overall now, getting around Herbert Pineda, who is not too far right there behind him in 6th. Frank Pisano right there in 7th, and then not too far, well actually, never mind, I thought it was Torvo behind, but top 12 back here in 8th place, just coming through and finishing the chase heading into Murray's Corner. But right behind him, Christian Ortiz-Torres doing a fantastic job. He is your leader in the AM class at 9th place overall. Randy Ayers in 2nd, but 9 seconds back. Pretty much the entire front straightaway behind, as he has got a mirror full of Steven Borussia right now, and Dave Jansen right there as well.
Yeah, about two and a half or 3 laps remaining here for most of these drivers, and you know, some of them probably can't wait until it's over with. I mean, it was a quick 45 minutes, but obviously some people are having some issues. The wheels of the boards got a lot of off tracks, you know, a couple crashes, and that could just be slapping the wall, you know. So you just gotta watch the way you slap the walls with these cars. It doesn't take much, and all of a sudden your steering wheel is like 30 plus degrees one way or the other. So. And you pretty much need all of that to get around some of these corners. You know, hit your marks, don't lose your wing. You know, there's all kinds of fun stuff here. But these drivers are doing a fantastic job, Carl. It's one of the better races here, and I hope that only my Saturday race, because I'm going to start the 12-hour event on the middle of the day on Saturday. It's probably the last one available, but it just works out better and get to sleep in. I don't have to stay up all night on Friday night, so I'll just ruin the rest of my Saturday afternoon. But either way, it's going to be a good one and for this weekend. But these drivers, I'm sure some of them will be partaking on this weekend's this weekend's festivities here on iRacing.
Kevin get into the 144 here, Steven Borussia. Again, first race here for CSRL, and what he did there through the mountain is not easy to do. It's hard enough hitting your marks, but when you're right behind somebody, it makes that section that's already got plenty of blind corners even more blind. So, I mean, he was falling very close there behind Ayers all the way through the mountain, and just fell back a little bit at the end, but heck of a run here. The lone Audi in the field, trying to get up there and battle for second place, but possibly coming away with a podium in his first ever race with CSRL is definitely nothing to scoff at for sure. But the man that was your winner a few times, or at least that not your winner, but doing well enough that he could have won the AM class quite a few times. Doug Palmer now in the pro class, and he is again trying to run down Reiner at the front of the field, but it's kind of tough when Reiner runs a 204.09 and Doug Palmer runs a 204.09. It's over 2 minutes on a lap, Jimmy, and exactly the same time. It's gotta feel like a gut punch.
I mean, they're at the same pace, you know. So it stinks sometimes. You know, you look at those times that you run, and you figure like, oh, I just ran a 204 flat, and the guy in front of me ran a 204, you know, 0.5. And you think you'd close in that half a second, but somehow you've only closed in like 0.3. I mean, it's weird how the track math works out. It seems like forever to catch somebody. You're like, oh no! Steven Barusa over the top side right before the dipper, the skyline, right before skyline, just took a nosedive. He ended up towing, but I'm sure Carl could catch that one.
Yeah, right there, huge impact, and that's what can happen. We'll take a look at it one more time and show you really exactly what happened. And it happened to me just doing a little bit of testing and practice here. Caught a little bit too much of that inside curb coming into skyline, and you see right there, straightened out the car, sent him toward the outside curbing, and you see what happens. That outside curbing is like a mountain by itself, and you catch it at all, it's going to send you up into the air. You're not going to have any grip because you ain't got no front tires on the ground. And somehow, well, I'll have to take a look at that one more time from the viewpoint of, I believe it was Anthony Jenkins coming through there.
I think right now you got the leader, Craig Jenkins, heading down to the dipper right now, heading down toward Forest Elbow. So I believe this time by he should get the white flag, and I believe the time has expired. That's weird.
There, as you see, right on board with Jenkins getting around, spinning and crashing at Borussia, but yeah, we'll take a look, and well, we'll make it easy. We'll just take a look at Barney. We'll get Barney up here.
Yeah, I'm watching Barney
on the screen. He is not waving. He's not waving the white flag at all. So either he fell asleep here, which does happen from time to time, or he's just waiting for Craig Jansen to come around this time by. But yeah, it should be white flag this time by. Craig Jansen coming around, doing a fantastic job here tonight.
And white flag or a checker flag?
Trying to see. That is a white flag. A white flag in the air here for Craig Jansen. One more lap around Mount Panorama for the 88 to pull off a spectacular race here tonight. He's got some traffic in front of him, so I guess, you know, all in all, he's got an 11.8 second lead, but not really over just yet. I mean, anytime you have one more time around the mountain, it's not over, and it looks like it could be over for our second place driver in the AM class. Happened to fourth place right behind him, and right there, maybe getting a little bit of help at the top of the mountain. And around goes Ayers. He ended up having to jump into the pits from there. So that's going to shake up the standings here for sure. Now it's Dave Jensen in second and Jay Little in third. How about that? We haven't talked about him all night long. Just got to get it around one more time. But Jay Little into the McLaren could possibly be getting himself a podium position here tonight.
Yeah, just keeping it together. You just got to be consistent. It's all part of it. But yeah, Jay Little looking like going to bring that McLaren into a good finish here for that AM Plus.
Again, still going to complete one more lap, and it's pretty much a little bit over 2 minutes of hell here sometimes, especially when you're trying to finish out and have a good final run here. But Craig Jansen coming down the Conrad Straight, won last time, heading into the chase. He's got 3 more corners to manage. He's got the S-turn to the left, to the right, and then a little straight shot down into Murray's corner. And the 88 is going to be on top of the boards here once again. Greg Jancic, your winner here at Bathurst in dominating fashion. 11.5-second lead as he comes to the line. He is going to be your winner here tonight. Colin Winslow now coming into Murray's corner. He's going to bring it around here. And I guess, well, give it to him. He gained a little bit of time there on Craig the last lap. Yeah, I mean, Craig was probably showboating there on the front stretch. But hey, Colin Winslow faster than Craig Jancic on that last lap as Craig burns it down there in the background. Bryce Reiner through the smoke there. He is going to come home in third. A good run by the 24. Doug Palmer just could not reel him in there. He's going to come home in fourth. Take a look over here at your AM class leader, Christian Ortiz Torres, coming down the Conrad Straight himself for the final time into chase. And looks like the 11 going to come home with another good finish here and keep the streak alive. Possibly even take the points lead away as your points leader not here in attendance, and I didn't realize it until now, but points leader not in attendance, so I had these points leaders not wanting to show up here in these final few races, whatever the case is. But obviously, sometimes your work or family or life just gets in the way, but Christian Ortiz Torres doesn't mind. He is going to grab the win here tonight for the AM class in Bathurst. Dave Jensen going to come home in second place. And then Jay Little is going to get it done and bring it home in third for the M class. Heck of a run. And we'll try and get all 6 of these guys in here for their interviews. But it's been quite a long time since we got to talk to Jay Little, at least a few seasons from when I remember, as the last few drivers finishing up their races here tonight. But man, is certainly a few names, a few heavy hitters getting involved in some incidents here tonight. But Bathurst is it's a track that can kill you very quickly, and whether it kills the car or whether it spins you sideways or backwards, and you have to watch 20, 30 other cars drive past you before you're even able to turn around, it can just be hurtful. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
I mean, the track it's it can be soul ripping too. You spend the time to go to a special event or even a league race like this, and you go up there and your race can be ruined, and not necessarily by your own fault. It's just a really tight track, and a car turns sideways, blocking the whole thing. And just a quick little story of why I know that is because last year in the 12-hour event, lap 1. The top of the hill, 31 meatballs for the whole field. So all 31 cars had to tow down and have their cars fixed in the pits, as some of the drivers that started in the pits were able to get by and go a lap or two ahead. So obviously long race, got most of some of those laps back, but and finished fairly well. But the start was just gut-wrenching. Just sit in the pits for the first 30 minutes.
I don't know if it was a league race or if it was one of the Bathurst 12 hours that I was involved in. I think it was a Bathurst 12 hour where didn't even make it to turn 2 before there was a wreck on, you see the straightaway right there, you're looking at on the screen, that's the straightaway heading into turn number 2. It's as straight as can be. There's not even any kinks. Yeah, there's maybe a little,
remember that
a little a little hit going up and over right there by the sign, but that's it. But yeah, got wrecked on the straightaway. You can't write it sometimes. You can't write it, but we are complete with the race here tonight. Everybody has crossed the finish line. So Jimmy, why don't you give us a final rundown of tonight's race results?
Final rundown for tonight's results will be Craig Jancic on the win from the pole. So congratulations to Craig. Colin Winslow, Bryce Rayner, Doug Palmer, and Dan Mora for your top 5. Then Herb Pineda, Frank Pisano, Tyler Torville, and Christian Torres, and David Jensen for your top 10. Anthony Jenkins, Jay Little, Rihanna Dilemma, Jimmy Herrick, Brandon Potts, and Ian Wilson. That'd be 16. And then Glenn Lawson, Steve Santana, Stephen Pless, Stephen Price, Brandon Powell, Cesar Torres, Todd Torville, Randall Ayers, Stephen Barusa, Paul Bailey, William Burrell, Daniel Rambo, Leo Gauch, Nicholas Cody, Jim Dutton, Ian Southern, and Joseph Sullivan not taking the track, but we'll round out your 33 drivers here tonight.
Just waiting for, excuse me, our 6 drivers to join us in the waiting room. Looks like we got everybody all set and ready to go. And I think we'll go ahead and start with our AM class drivers here tonight. And the third place finisher here tonight, I mean, he deserves to get interviewed first. Again, it's been, I feel, so long since we've been able to talk to him. But third place tonight is... get the right car here on the screen. Third place tonight in the AM class, and 12th place overall is going to be the 196 of J. Little J. How long has it been since we got you up here in the booth? You get a third place here on not exactly the easiest track here at Mount Panorama. What a run for the 196 here tonight.
It's been at least 2, maybe 3 seasons since the last time I talked to you guys.
Yeah, it's been quite some time, and it's certainly been some rough patches along the way. You showed speed a few times, but it just never seemed like it's been clicking for you lately. But what was it tonight? I mean, I know we had a few cars towards the front get involved in some wrecks, but it's not like we had any kind of big pileups or anything like that. So were you just kind of feeling it tonight? That the flow was there, or what was the case that you got it done here tonight?
I want to give all the thanks to Dan Morera. I watched a bunch of his laps and just tried to emulate what he was doing, and it seemed to pay off.
Well, it absolutely did. You get a third place here tonight. And again, it's a track that it's not Daytona. It's not one that's that's what I consider easy. I mean, half the track here it's Jekyll and Hyde. You get an easy half of the track, but then the mountain. Did you have any kind of close calls up there? Do you have any kind of cars that you need to kind of maneuver around that were already wrecked in front of you? Anything that made you kind of jump a little bit?
I did have one. I don't remember who it was, but I was able to just barely squeak by them without hitting them. I mean, I brushed the wall several times, but not enough to slow me down.
Absolutely not. Congrats on a 12th place overall, let alone a top 3 here, third place in the AM class. So congrats on a great run here tonight. Before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
You guys for being such great broadcasters, the Sim League for allowing me to even run, and again, thanks to Dan.
All right, buddy. Well, take some time to celebrate this one, and hopefully it's not 2 more seasons before we get to talk to you again. We still got a couple more races here on the season. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk to you one more time.
Yep, never can tell. Thanks for everything, and we'll catch you later.
All right, buddy. That is your third place finisher in at the AM class, the 196 of Jay Little. Second place in the AM class, Jimmy, is going to be the 692 of Dave Jensen.
Hey, Dave, Jimmy Carl in the booth. Copy.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, not too bad. Hey, congratulations on your second place finish there for the AM class. Obviously, very interesting track tonight. Give us a little rundown how your race went for you.
It was kind of tough coming down the hill. Just having problem after problem, not holding traction. I was chasing my teammate down the whole time, and he spun out, and then I got in behind Randy Ayers. And unfortunately, I don't know, he checked up early, and I kind of sent him flying. But that's what put me in the 2 spot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a tough track, and it's hard to judge when people need to get a little heavier on their brakes and get things done. But obviously, maybe a preview. Are you partaking in the 12-hour event this weekend?
I am.
Definitely one to. Hopefully you have the best of luck and just maybe, a showboat there. Maybe you get a P2 or better in the 12-hour event coming up. But again, we want to say congratulations on tonight's second place finish and give you a little time for any shouts you may have.
Thank you. Shout out to my team, Millennium. That's it.
All right, so Millennium it is. Go light speed, right? So again, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thanks, guys.
Second place finisher here in the AM class tonight, the 692 of Dave Jensen. Top of the heap in the AM class, finishing 9th place overall, is going to be the 11 of Christian Ortiz Torres. Christian, it was a heck of a battle between you and Randy Ayers before he decided to dip into the pits. Looked like you had a couple looks at him going into to Hell Corner and then going into the Quarry Corner as well. But you decided to stay back in line. And, man, going up through the mountain here, you can't pass. It's just single file until you get to Forest Elbow and you have one more chance to get back out of there. But he pulls into the pits, and it seemed like the overcut kind of worked out really nice here for you. Not sure if he had some issues coming out or what, but you end up coming out there with a pretty sizable lead.
Yeah, definitely a great battle with Randy. I was sticking behind him. Definitely, he was putting some good defending out there, and yeah, there's hardly places to pass. Definitely, I don't think I could have made a pass in the mountain, and so I was waiting for the bottom part of the track to see if I could make a move. But Randy was great on his defending, and yeah, I think it was until we were on top, and I think he hit the wall and went into the pits on that lap, and so I was able to continue and see if I could make up some time and get ahead.
So obviously Mount Panorama, nothing new, and I'm sure you've had plenty of laps here at Mount Panorama, but the Acura is new, and this is I'm sure the first time you're here with the Acura. So how did the car feel? I mean, obviously it was good enough to not only get you the win in the AM class, but top 10 overall.
Yeah, felt pretty stable. The car feels pretty good. If you lose it a little bit, I think it's a little bit recoverable compared to the Porsche that I drive. And yeah, we went with the Acura. We're also doing the 12 hours with some of the guys here and some other friends, and we picked the Acura for that. So we've been doing some laps around the mountain.
Yeah, we'll be doing the same thing as Jimmy's on one team. I'm on another team where we're both going to be running the CRN Acura as well. So good luck to you this weekend in the Bathurst 12 hours. But you come in there already a winner at Bathurst in the AM class here tonight, 9th place overall. So congrats on the finish here tonight. Who are you going to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Everybody here, and good luck everybody on the 12 hours, whoever's doing that. And shout outs to CFG, the guys here, my lady, and my family in Denver.
All right, buddy. Well, once again, congrats on the win here tonight. We'll let you celebrate, and then we'll see you next week for the regular season finale.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Winner here in the AM class tonight, the 11 of Christian Ortiz Torres. Before we get over to the Pro class, I just want to give a shout out and a thanks to the series sponsors here for CSRL, and it's going to be 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 sim racing shoes, custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. At SimCraft, they create the most advanced, customizable simulators for drivers and enthusiasts alike. Whether you're a professional racer looking for precision training or a home user seeking an immersive experience, SimCraft delivers unparalleled performance. SimCraft is trusted by real-world professionals with over 74 client championships, including 18 in 2024. Their advanced simulators provide unmatched precision and performance, empowering drivers to excel at every level. Join the ranks of champions who rely on SimCraft to elevate their training and development. For modern PC, they're focused on providing high-quality PCs, rigs, and components at an affordable price. Your investment in sim racing is the exact same as racing with an actual car, and they take that same methodology at Martin. From the engine PC to the chassis, rig, pedals, wheels, and shifter, you deserve components that match your desire to compete. So now for your Pro Class field here tonight, top 3. Third place tonight, Jimmy, is going to be the 24 of Bryce Reiner bringing it home.
Hey, Bryce, it's Jimmy Carlton, Booty Copy.
Yeah, I got you, Jimmy.
Hey, it's always an interesting race here at Bathurst. So I just want to say congratulations, but give us a little rundown on how your race was for you. And is this like a prelude to what might come for this weekend for a 12-hour event?
If I was running it, possibly, but I've got stuck working, so I don't think I will make the Bathurst 12-hour. But overall, this race tonight was a blast. I don't know if it was a fluke for me running, 2 podiums in 2 weeks, but I will sure take it. And being up front with those guys, it's difficult to stay with those guys. they're too fast every week, and luckily, I had a last lap, or I should say last second qualifying attempt, and I had an amazing lap to start P2 and just kind of hold that for a little bit. And
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you're good.
No, go ahead.
And just try to stay up front for most of the time, because I know if you get back in the pack, I don't know if there's any way you can get back up through the pack.
Yeah, Bathurst one of those tracks where it's a pain in the butt to get around somebody, obviously waiting for somebody to make a mistake or have that elusive great pit stop. And obviously you had a lot of things going for you tonight. You got to start up front. You got to run up there with them guys and maybe learn a thing or two to help your lines out and your speed, because you can constantly showing that you can hang with them, and maybe you'll be start being a threat to them and getting those these wins away from Craig that he seems to be stocking up here as Chris is sitting on the couch somewhere sipping a coffee or something. But definitely a lot of fun watching everybody out there. You did a great job. So again, want to say congratulations and give you some time for any shouts you may have on your car.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jimmy. Yeah, it was always a blast. Shout out to Leo and Doug for a great battle there. I know it wasn't super tight throughout the whole race, and no passing was done, but it was a blast trying to stay in front of those guys or passing them. But definitely just want to give a shout out to you guys up in the booth for every race week you guys broadcast for us. It's awesome to rewatch them back. Shout out to all the admins, Craig, Colin, Jim, Renan, and congrats to Craig and Colin for P1 and P2. They were the class of the field tonight, and I was just a little bit off pace, but still brought home a P3.
Hey, nothing wrong with a P3 at all. It's a good spot, a lot better than I could do at a lot of places. But, again, we want to say congratulations. Such a good finish at a tough track, and let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Yeah, thank you guys.
That is your third place finisher overall and in the pro class, the 24 of Bryce Reiner. Second place in the Mercedes here tonight is going to be the 19 of Colin Winslow. And Colin, I got to say, first of all, the Mercedes. It seems to be maybe a car that is just a little bit favored here on the track. It's a little bit more maybe stable going up through the mountain. Is that why you choose the Mercedes, or is it a speed difference that you just kind of prefer here at Bathurst?
Yeah, it's probably the most stable going down the hill. I think front engines do a lot better at keeping that rear end behind you as you're going down the hill. If I had the choice of the Acura, I would have chose that, but Mercedes I definitely felt more stable than I did in the Porsche going down the hill, and pretty much everywhere else too. It just felt like the Mercedes could get the front end pointed a lot better than the Porsche was able to, and on top of that, it's just the mountain's more about survival than it is being fast. So the Mercedes was definitely more stable than the Porsche. So,
well, fast is what your competitor in front, Greg Jancic, was here tonight, and he checked out pretty early, but you were able to get past both Reiner and Palmer at the start of the race and jump from fourth to second. It's probably the best time, and maybe the only time to do it is early on in the race where everybody is that close, because this track is so difficult to pass. But just like Craig pulled away from you, you're able to pull away from everybody else. So definitely the best of the rest, if you will. Is this a track you kind of look forward to? It seemed like you had a nice flow, and will we be seeing you maybe out there for the Bathurst 12-hour this weekend?
Yes, it's a track I enjoy, and I have taken a look at the forecast for this weekend, and I am opting out. So
no, come suffer with me.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that. I don't want to spend my weekend hitting the walls up here in the pouring rain. So.
Crying and the tears pouring out just like the rain is pouring out here on the track. Yeah, I completely understand it. I'm hoping that from Jimmy's words that he's doing some of these practices, and it seems like it's wet early. I'm hoping that maybe qualifying and practice are wet and it dries up by the time I get in the car because I'm not in the car until second. I'm fingers crossed.
There you go.
Or maybe
yeah.
the rain is so bad that the car is wrecked by the time I get in there.
Yeah,
So
by the time
it's not my fault.
you're not even going to get a chance to get in the car. So
Exactly. I can't do anything wrong if I don't ever get in. So there's that. But
there you go.
Either way, a heck of a run here tonight. A great second place. It's good to see that Mercedes back out here. I mean, it's I feel like it's a forgotten beast. I mean, it was so good for so long, and then just kind of got kicked to the curb with these other newer cars when the Ferrari came out and the Acura now is kind of the top dog, but it's good to see that Mercedes out there and still grunting and still showing its power in second here tonight. So congrats on the run. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, first of all, I actually really enjoy the Mercedes. That was my first time ever driving it. I bought it specifically for this season because I knew I wanted a front engine to drive around this track specifically. But yeah, I look forward to driving the Mercedes more often. And then shout out to my nephew Easton. I think he's watching, and then shout out my fiance Kaylee.
All right, buddy. Well, you put on a good run for him, finishing in second place here overall and in the pro class. So congrats on the run. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good, boys.
Second place finisher here tonight, the 19 of Colin Winslow. Your winner for tonight's race, and it wasn't really even that close. Got the pole and then checked out is going to be the 88 of Craig Jancic.
Hey, Craig, Jimmy and Carlton, boot the copy.
Oh, yeah, I got you, sir. What's going on?
I mean, another story, another week, another win, blah, blah, blah. No, tough track, man. It's definitely one out there, and, man, you had some speed here tonight putting that 88 machine out front. Left the competition, I guess, in the dust, as they even had him scared a little bit. No show for Chris Hamilton, so obviously he knew that he was outclassed, outmatched for this track, but either way, you walk away a winner after the pole. So just kind of give us a rundown on how everything went for you, and are you planning to do the 12 hour this weekend?
Yeah, so I'll kind of answer that backwards. I had some initial plans on doing the 12 hour, but when we saw the forecast, my buddy Michael Baumgartner and I, we decided to pull our hat out of that one because it's just not going to be fun if it's going to rain for 12 hours. So we're gonna skip on that. But we're the Acura was certainly the car. But I got to be honest with you guys, I started out the season kind of not liking the Acura. I picked it because I thought it was going to be good. I didn't pick it because I enjoyed it. I'm really starting to feel it. I'm really starting to enjoy the car too, and I hope that that's not spelling that the iRacing is going to turn it into a paperweight for next season, because that's probably what will happen. Yeah, but it felt really good here tonight. Did everything that I wanted it to do. In practice, I felt really good because this is a track. I think both of you guys do also have some oval. This is Darlington of the road course world. You can't take your eyes off of the next point that you have to hit, or else it's going to end in concrete. And that's exactly how I've always treated this place. And now that I've kind of honed in some GT3 skill over the last year or so from doing CSRL here, I feel so at home with this car and what we can really do with it, with maximizing every square inch of pace, or every square inch of ground, and turning it into every tenth of a second of pace.
Yeah, I mean, the Acura's, I've stayed away from it until, matter of fact, just the other day, bought it for Bathurst for the rain, as it's one of the more stable cars. Paired with, like, obviously the Porsche and the Audi, but the Porsche and Audi, once things get dry up, seem to do what I call Porsche and Audi things, just being on the limits. On where the Acura seems to be that more stable car, and a lot of people are seeming to be enjoying it. It tends to be, for me, a little bit tighter going into the corners, and not my cup of tea for the most part. I'm usually a McLaren guy, but definitely a lot of fun driving those. I am going to weather the rain, I guess, if you want to call it that, here at Bathurst. Come Saturday, Carl and some of the other fellas are going to start on Friday, so but we're kind of excited to see how things go and see who can conquer not only Hell Mountain, but definitely the hellish rains that can be thrown at us at iRacing, as challenging, as realistic as it can be. But tonight it was great to watch you conquer the mountain, conquer the field, come away the winner yet again. So I'm hoping here that you're probably feeling pretty confident about winning that championship, as your competitors that sit on the sideline watching you continuously dominate the series here. But again, congratulations, and we'll give you some time for any shouts you might have on that 88.
Yeah, so definitely. I think one thing I didn't speak to on the prior question was Chris and even Devin not showing tonight. I think they both had work related.
Yeah. I'm messing.
So all good. We're not going to incriminate Devin to never coming back. But
Chris is on one of my teams for the 24-hour races. So I'm just giving Chris some. I'm just rattling his cage a little bit, as he's nicknamed the bridesmaid for a reason.
True. And the competitor in me wants to keep him as the bridesmaid of CSRL too. But no, we love Chris Hamilton. He's a great dude. I think he's going to get 7th place points. I think that was his drop from the prior part of the season. So he'll get 7th place points for tonight with this no-show replacing it. So championship not unlocked by any means, having come in here with, I think, a 1-point lead. You guys could probably quote me on that. But it feels a lot better to get pole, fastest lap, and win the race. Really maximize our points here tonight, so that when we go to Hockenheim next week, with everything on the line, we'll have some good things to lean on. We'll have a little bit of wiggle room to be safe. But shout out wise, as always, my guys at Team Conti Sim Performance, Digital Sim Sports, Studio 3, Martin PC, the Freeburn Hot Wings Morning Show, you guys at Core Racing Network, the admin team here at CSRL, all the viewers, and specifically Mom, Dad, Aunt Sandy, and my girlfriend Anna. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to everyone that watches and everyone that shows up here competitor-wise. I really appreciate everything that we do.
Yeah, again, we always appreciate the good show, and as always, and it's always fun to have a little bit of fun with all the other drivers out there being up here in the booth, especially when we know them. So, again, congratulations, and we will hopefully see you next week.
Yes, sir. Cheers.
That is your winner here tonight. Overall, the 88 of Craig Jancic, getting it done, and again, in just dominating fashion, taking the pole and walking away to the win. Again, next week is going to round out the regular season and the individual points for these drivers here in CSRL, and it's going to take place at Hockenheim. So we head from Australia back to Europe once again to Germany to hit the Hockenheim Ring Grand Prix, and it's a fun track. I enjoy Hockenheim. I know there's definitely some drivers out there that are not a fan of the track. So we'll see who can conquer that one and who's going to come out as your points champions. It looks to be that Craig Jancic and Christian Ortiz-Torres should be your points leaders in the Pro and the Am, respectively, heading into Hockenheim into the season finale. But the ultimate season finale is going to be in 2 weeks again at Spa for the team race, the team points finale for that one. But this has been a fun one here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. It gets you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. But for myself and Jimmy here at Mount Panorama, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.